What is up, YouTube? It's been a while since I've uploaded anything on the R6, and that's what today's video is going to be about. I went ahead and pretty much installed everything. There is one little thing left, which is I put one of the clutch plates on incorrectly, so I'm going to have to open up the cover for that and then switch that out. Or actually, no. I think it's on this side. Yeah, it's on this side. I'm going to have to take the cover off, move one of the plates in a different direction. Honestly, lighting is pretty poor in here, and it would have been really hard to record everything. So, so I took the liberty of just installing everything. Now, I'm super new to bike motors, so there are a few videos that I watched, but a couple of things that I didn't like in those videos is that there's a few steps that they either skip or that it's different or it's just not enough info, and that's kind of what this video is going to be about. I'm going to try to explain everything as much as possible that I feel like was left out in those videos, and I'll put those video links in the description so that you can fill in the blanks for anything that I have missing. My intake box just fell. So first off, where we left off in part 1, this is part 2 by the way if you are watching from this video, is that in part 1 I didn't have the head on. I had the head gasket ready to go, but I hadn't installed the head. So first things first, I put the head gasket on, put the head on, and then with the head studs, what you want to do is you want to put some dab each one of them in oil before installing. So you do that, and then I'm gonna put links to show you guys the torque spec for this R6s motor, which that's another thing, is that all the videos that I've seen mainly were either really poor quality R6s videos or they were all R6R, which is like the next version. Now, I had a debate online with this one guy. He was debating how there's no such thing as an R6R. That's cool. It's actually kind of true. It's just a made-up term to show that there's two different models, because Yamaha did this weird thing where they made my model and then they came out with the newer model, and apparently the newer model, yeah, it was cool and a lot of people liked it, but a lot of people liked the older model. So what Yamaha did, they had two different models going on at the same time. So this one ran from 03 to 04. 03 to 04? No, 03 to 05. And then they ran it again from 06 to 08 by calling it the R6s. And the only difference is that the forks were a little bit different. I believe the engine was completely the same. The newer model, they ran from 06 to 2016. So there's that. There's a few differences from that motor and this motor. The differences is that on this motor, whenever you go to watch the video that I'm going to post from Partzilla, which really helped me a lot, is that the specs are pretty much the same as far as like torquing them down. But the main difference is that they have timing chain guides that are a little bit thicker and it's clear, as to where on this one you'll notice that it's black guides, 2 of them, and then one of them is held on by a little piece like this. It's held in there by that. And then another thing is that, let's see here, the timing chain guides, there's 3 of them on this motor. One's actually on the top of the valve cover, I'm sorry, on the top of the valve cover itself, this little indentation, I thought it was a design, but it's actually a timing chain guide sitting right here. So in the graph, you'll see one here, one slightly going like this, curved, and then another one going curved like this. The first one sits in this little pocket right here. You push it in and it sits right there, and then another one sits right here, and then it gets pressed on by that little fitting I was telling you guys about. What else? Okay, the main thing that kind of screwed me up is that the chain itself, what you want to do is you want to install everything up to the cam gear on the intake side first. So you make sure you put the crankshaft in top dead center, put the chain on from the bottom if you're at that extent, but for me it was already on here. Bring the chain up, put it on top of the intake cam gear, make sure that it's on top dead center, and then you go ahead and go around the exhaust side. The exhaust side is gonna look like it's off by a tooth, and that's fine because you have to consider that this timing chain guide is gonna have some pressure on it too. And another thing is that no matter how much you try to put this on top dead center, there's actually a diagram where it shows that the intake cam gear is sitting, the line itself is sitting a little bit above the line, and then the exhaust side is sitting right under the line. But it's very, very, very small. So I'm gonna put that picture in there, probably insert it in this frame right here. So that's okay, don't freak out about that. And the main reason I was freaking out is because I'm like used to Honda motors where it's like it has to be dead on, or it could be off and it'll basically be skipping a tooth, and the motor will just sound horrible and you'll have to start all over again. So there's that. Other than that, pretty easy. Am I forgetting anything else? Oh, so let me tell you guys some of the mess ups I had. And honestly, I want to keep this, well, I guess honest would be the word, but also, like, you watch videos and then people mess up and they're like, oh, okay, that's, I just ordered a part, should be here within the hour. Well, I don't have that luxury. I had to wait weeks or even like, a couple of days for me to get a part. So the first time I put the timing chain guide on and everything was aligned, the head was installed, the timing chain tensioner. This is probably a super noob move, but I tried to spin this and without the tensioner, and I completely forgot about the tensioner, to be honest, because I had it uninstalled because I was installing the head by itself, fresh. So that happened. The cam gears didn't move at all, the crankshaft moved, and I was out of top dead center, and I thought I had to strip down everything. So you don't have to do that. What you do is you loosen everything on the exhaust side, put this back on top dead center, and then go ahead and go back and put the cam gears back in top dead center, install them, and then you'll be good. And then on these two bolts right here on the timing chain tensioner, make sure you put not Loctite, what is it called? I have it right here actually. Thread locker blue. That's what you want to put. There's a little screw, there's a little flathead area right here. You want to, it'll make you tighten or loosen. I want to say it's loosen, but it might have been tightened. Anyways, it brings the timing chain tensioner back out, and then there's a little pivot point. There's a little insert where you tap, and then it locks it. Unfortunately for me, I don't know why this one wouldn't lock, so I literally had to hold it with the flathead and then install these two screws at the same time and then let go of this. So if that's the case for you, that's what I did and it worked out. And after installing this, doing it the correct way, and honestly stripping the head so many times because of so many mess ups, like the crank pulley bolt, I broke that thing in half because a timing chain guide that was sitting right here was wedged on and it wouldn't move anything but that bolt, so it took all the pressure and it broke in half. So then I had to get a little screw extractor, which is cool because, well, not cool, but that's what I had to do. So I took that out, had the spare motor, took the crank pulley bolt from that one, and then installed it on here. Installed everything together, and everything was pretty on time. Turned the motor, everything's good. And the only thing I can think of now that I need to go back on is changing the clutch plate, the last one. There's about, I want to say there was 16 or 30. I want to say 16. 30 sounds over exaggerated, but don't worry, I'll put the link on where I saw the install, and I just realized that I put mine not correctly, the last one, which is the one facing the most out, so it's not too big of a deal. And then so okay, with that screw extractor, basically on this bike when I got it, I'll just show you on this side, but basically the bolt that goes here for the jacking point, and I'm probably messing up all the wording, but this bolt was stripped. I need to get it out from the other side, so that screw extractor came in handy, and I'm going to be installing this same design. This is pretty dope. I'm super excited about little things like this because it'll go fairly well with all the black and little white stuff that I have going on, like the throttle and stuff. So I stripped down the tank, and I took out the old battery, cleaning this stuff off before I start installing everything. I'm taking this off because I'm trying to install the other one that I showed you guys that I have. And then what else? I think I'm missing header bolts, and then it looks like I'm missing a head stud. So I need to figure that out. And then everything plugged in pretty well. Trying to think if I'm missing anything. Yeah, I'm just honestly just cleaning and putting stuff together as much as possible. I know I need to get a front tire. This thing is bald as hell on the left side because I guess track-wise, or I don't know. And this tire is pretty good. So I'm going to ride this for a while. I need to take my chain off and clean that. Me and a friend of mine got chain cleaner and all that kind of stuff, so I'm going to be cleaning that. I have no idea why my kickstand is red, but that's not acceptable. I'm going to be switching that out or repainting that. And new fairings for sure. This fairing, as you can see, is cracked right here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, that's cracked, so I need to switch that out, get a front fairing, get all the side fairings. I think I actually broke